Call this meeting to order. I'll make the motion to come out of executive session.
I'd make that motion.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. Would you want me to pledge allegiance to our flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, welcome everyone. Any adjustments to the agenda? Anything?
Yeah, I'd like to get an update on 80 Gray, what's going on? And I guess that would be old business?
Yeah, 11-3.
VOA update. Any others? Hear none. Okay,
You may want to ask Max to do that when he sings for the water project. That way he can lead.
We need a motion and a pass.
yeah. Any others? All in favor of that change? Against, none?
John made the motion. You could say I seconded it.
Okay.
Public hearing, none, right? Presentations. We have the chief of police, John Latt, for the year-end report.
Hello, everyone. So I've been asked to kind of give a year-end report for 2024, just kind of talk about what's going on at the PD. 2024 was a much less exciting year than 2023. Our numbers are down by quite a bit. We had almost 8,000 calls to serve this year. Last year was around 2024 we had about 8,000. In 2023 we had 15,000.
Wow.
Why the difference? I mean, stuff is down drastically this year. I don't know what it is with 23, but I went back to 22, 21, and 2024 is right on average of 22 and 21. So what it was 23, I don't know. I'm glad our numbers are down because that means
That's good.
yes, it's very good. Some of the biggest ones that stuck out to me was the motor vehicle accidents are way, way, way down. We only had 201 in 2024. I think a lot of that has to do with those intersections being fixed with the four-way stops. I mean, that's the only answer. We had maybe one accident at the beginning when the whole thing first started, but those the Washington Road and Old Augusta Road and Union Road and Magtown Road, those have been a huge difference having four-way stops there. So I think that's why our motor vehicle accidents are down. Drug investigations are up only because that was one of the things we wanted to do this year was invest a little more time and effort into that, which meant that some of the other numbers went down. So like traffic stops went down because we were working on the drug investigations. Now, the big reason why the traffic stops went down was because Justin Hills has been out and he's our traffic guy. He stops between 10 to 20, cars a shift. So I'm expecting that to go back up for next year because I know speeding is still a big complaint. And one thing I just ask the public, keep the speed complaints coming in, but if you could be very specific with them, like time of day, what road they're on, because if we could narrow down we can kind of get a nice pattern, a nice rotation going on, because we have a lot of road to patrol. Domestic disturbances are down, which is great. They're down. We only had 73 this year. I mean, it's too many still, but they were down from in 2023 we had 184. So we're down to 77 in 2020.
Huge.
So I don't know. I'm going to say it's good policing, but some of it probably just, maybe we took some care of some of the problems in 2023 but hey, I'm glad they're down. Harassments are down. We had 77 of those as well. Assaults are down. We only had 12 assaults this year. Animal complaints are down, which is good because that we contract per hour through the county, so we only had 306 animal calls. And last year we had 589, so we're down quite a bit with the animal complaints. The animal control officer is doing a good job, I think, in my opinion. Other numbers to note, thefts are down as well. I think some of that has to do with the because of some of the DA's policies on not prosecuting shoplifting. A lot of these businesses are now just not calling us. They're just having us trespass them from their property. Hannaford will still have us try to prosecute or try to, write someone's is, but like Maritime, Circle K, Big Apple, they just want them trespassed. So that's what we've been doing in lieu of charging them for theft for shoplifting. As far as the department goes, we have a new officer in the academy right now, Mario. He'll be there until May. We're really excited for him to get out and get going because that will bring our staffing, get our staffing up to where we're not working as much overtime. The guys are tired. They need a break. So there's light at the end of the tunnel. I've got 2 guys that are doing PT tests tomorrow. So there's also a couple really good candidates. So I think 2025 is going to be a good year for the PD. I think we're going to get up to staff. And I'm really excited for what's, for what's coming down the pike.
So 2024, you were basically down 2 officers
Correct.
for all of 2024.
Yeah. Guys are working a lot of overtime. I will say they've done a good job because we haven't had a shift that hasn't been filled. And we even filled all the basketball games and wrestling meets except for 1. So last year we couldn't do that. So we did a good job. So I'm very proud of my guys and I'm looking forward to the future.
Anyone, any questions for John on the table? I've got one,
Yeah, go for it.
and I'll bring this up, parking.
Mhm.
We've got a traffic ordinance that we're gonna be looking at in the next week or so, couple of weeks, and it came up at last meeting, someone was asking about, people overtime parking down in the village. And I know it's not high on the priority, you're gonna go chase a bad guy, a real bad guy, or a bad girl, before you're gonna write someone's parking ticket. But do we do traffic parking tickets at all?
We don't do parking enforcement. There's been some. Damerscott and Booth Bay Harbor do a lot of parking enforcement. They have a lot more parking than we do. There's been some new case law, like you can't chalk tires now and stuff like that. We do go and ask people to move sometimes if we have time. Parking enforcement's been one of those things I've been avoiding like the plague because it really takes a lot. And for 12 parking spots, am I gonna hire a parking enforcement officer for that? So the town wants me to do it, I'll figure it out. But
Well, it's in the ordinance, that's.
yeah. It's one of those things that we've always just kind of, if we'll have people towed for snow removal, which we haven't had to do this year because people have been really good about it, but had no snow. But the winter parking ban stuff, we've been putting up signs, letting people know. It gets a little crowded the nights the theater does stuff.
So do you think the issue is for the parking? Is it? I can see where it's a manpower issue, definitely.
Oh, you have to be right on top of it. Yeah. And you have to be able to chalk around the wheels and then go check it. And you have to have somebody right there all the time.
But don't they use they don't use a police officer in Booth Bay, I don't think, do they?
No, you can use civilians for that. Yep. I just don't know if it'd be cost effective for the town to hire a civilian to do parking enforcement. I really don't. Maybe they make money down there doing parking tickets. So
Yes, they do.
Yeah. I just don't know how much.
I
Yeah.
paid one.
That's a question. Well, there's been talk about the police academy allowing a different course structure. Right now you have to be in the place. You can't
Correct.
Do it from home.
Mhm.
Can't go home at night.
Yep.
Do you have any opinion on that? Allowing guys to do the academy without being there 24/7?
I'm a proponent of the hybrid system, meaning, because I believe the stress inoculation is a very big part. I think people need to be able to work well under stress. And I believe that kind of weeds out some of the people that don't work well under stress. Do I believe there needs to be stress inoculation for 18 weeks? Absolutely not. I believe in the hybrid system, maybe do like a stay-in thing for 6 weeks, high stress, and then the 12 weeks after that could be a college style. That's my opinion.
Good feedback. Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Good job.
Go cheer dad.
The ACO contract is on the agenda tonight. Would you support renewing that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's working out.
Okay, citizens' comments. Any comments from the citizens? Hear none? Select board comments. Into the table, Beck?
I have none.
Mike?
I just have a question. One of the speed cameras seems to be out of service.
Friendship.
The one on Friendship Road, yeah,
Yeah.
the sign. Yep. What's the term they use? For those fancy signs?
Feedback sign. I don't know.
No, it's a interactive or something like that. I will let them
Yeah,
know.
that was out when we had that snow and then I thought it was snow when in the sunlight.
I will let them know right now. I'll let them know that the sign is out.
Bob?
I was gonna say that too, so. Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
I drove down.
Just
the old
asking
way.
when.
I had
Almost as much as you.
I have nothing to add. Town manager's report.
The only thing I want to say is that we have begun serious work on our budget. Woo-hoo, it's the most wonderful time of the year. It is, that's what we are really devoting a lot of time and energy to is the budget, and budget meetings start in March. So you should be getting your budget book the third week, I believe, in February, and off we go to the races. So it's exciting. That's
Best
all I
time of
got.
year.
It's what?
Best time of year.
It's the best time of the year. Some people are gonna miss it. Not gonna get their apple slices this year or any candy back there in the back row.
I think this will be a challenge. Just like any of them, they're all gonna be challenging.
They're all fraught with challenges this year, so as they were every year.
So yeah,
That's all I got.
motion to approve the consent calendar.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Next, number 10, new business, 10.1, water project, Max.
Hi, everyone. So I've been working on the water extension study for some time. The study got to a point of needing to put a booster station in the downtown because the pressure levels as you go up the hill are pretty low. I think it goes as low as maybe 40 PSI. So working with the water committee, getting some more studies through Wright Pierce. There is a path forward. It was about 800,000 or so. But yeah, I saw the eyes going on there, but you want me to hear a but. There is the Northern Borders Regional Accounts Commission funding, NBRC. That's something where Lincoln County is now eligible to apply for those federal funds. That helps fund up to $1 million, but we have to provide a 1-1 match. So the whole thing can't be done, Bob. I saw it in your eyes. You wanted the whole.
Wow, but I heard $1 million. So you're coming down on the price. That's good.
$1 million, but we have to
Bids
pay for
come
half
in.
of it. So if it's an $800,000 project, we have to come up with 400,000. That's the catch. So talking with the water committee, the idea is to put in a request for the booster station, but also the uranium filter. I'm gonna look at my.
Correct.
Uranium filter. I'm getting some better pricing from Wright Pierce, just so we have better estimates. We did get the 50,000 from Lincoln County, so we can finish off the rest of the studies and permitting, so wetland delineation, ledge probing, just general engineering, all should be able to be covered through that grant. And the NBRC application should start the end of February. With that said, there was the executive order on freezing federal grants and loans. I don't believe it's going to impact NVRC because that was all settled before all this, and this is a grant program that helps with economic development. I don't see how a booster station should be impacted by that, but we'll find out. In terms of paying for the rest of it, there is the state revolving loan fund that's in September. So if we're successful with NBRC, we apply for that low interest loan in September. And then there's the state's community development block grant next year. If congressional directed spending comes back, that would actually solve a lot more
So we
problems.
can stack, so if we get the 400,000 from the NBRC, we can then stack other grants.
Yeah.
And this would be borne on the users of the system, not on the town.
So that's just the pipeline.
That was good.
Thank you. Thank you.
But so you need their approval to apply for NBRC funding.
Yes, so the way NBRC works, I'd love to apply for so many other projects in town, but they really want to only give one project per town. They don't want to officially say that, but geographically, they don't want to put 10 projects in Waldeboro because there's limited funding. So it would be nice if this was the recommendation, since I don't think there's any other projects that we would put forward. So it'd be nice if I just got that.
And the water committee supported that this project have the priority over other projects.
Yeah, and there are some other factors too. I believe this booster station eliminates the need for the cistern at VOA's site.
Yes, it would get rid of that. It would get rid of the
And-
booster station at Coles Hills apartment. And if we do decide to extend the water to the Moody's Borealis intersection, the booster station would give us more than enough pressure to do that.
And it will provide good fire protection for the north end of Main Street,
Correct.
Yes,
which it does not have right now.
right. And this
And
is,
there are apartments up there, not just single family homes. There are some
yeah,
fairly extensive apartments up there.
yeah, the booster station is something that would be a recommendation, even if Volunteers for America wasn't happening. Volunteers for America just helps improve our application pretty much.
You're looking for a room for a movie, I'd move, we make that application to the NVRT for that grant, transfer station. All in favor?
And I-
Opposed?
I did overhear asking Volunteers for America an update or something.
Yeah, you gotta leave,
Yes.
right? You gotta leave.
I don't have to leave.
We'll let you leave after you jump ahead to the old business of BOA update,
Okay.
what you know about what's going on with that, like.
So I did let Volunteers of America know about the booster station and the NBRC grant. They're very supportive if we pursue that. They were trying some funding. We're not as successful for full funding, and so they're trying a bit more in the coming season. But again, this was before I heard about all the grant and freezing, so I don't know what they're looking like this upcoming year. But they are still committed to making the project in Waldeboro. And Brian is more than welcome. Brian said he would. Oh, Ruben's online. I need to get that. Brian Seitz is happy to come to a select board meeting in the future if you just need to hear from him again.
Well,
Or
it's not a question of that. We've demolished the building.
Yep.
And we demolished Fieldcrest, but we've had a groundbreaking.
Yep.
Well, 80 Gray was demolished before Fieldcrest.
Yep.
And so it's taking a lot longer. I'm looking to break ground, and start construction. There are people that need housing in this town. And I've got a constituent who asked me a couple of times when he can apply, and we haven't even broken ground yet.
No, and I get those questions all the time for people asking to be on the wait lists, and I keep telling them, I'd love to put you on the wait list too, and bring that up to VOA as well. And yeah, timeline wise, they did do the demolition first. And again, I can't speak for all the funding sources they're going for. Maine Health, I think they got it all through their own funds pretty much.
Correct.
Private fund.
VOA is going out for different federal sources that,
We can ask for an update, especially to see if any of
Well,
the
and-
decisions made in Washington.
A
have
timeline would
impacted
be
it.
good, a proposed timeline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
their timeline was for this year, but I
Yeah,
don't think they.
which is difficult without the funding. so
Without
that's
the
the
funding,
thing.
Yeah.
right,
But
that's
If
the
they
big holdup.
anticipated this, I mean, I think they warned us that this could take a while depending on
Mhm.
availability.
Correct.
Right.
So this isn't a surprise. It's frustrating though.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, something like the booster station, for example, that's now an expense they don't have, or they now don't have to worry about the cisterns anymore because the booster stations now have.
If
them.
we get the.
If we
If we
get
get the
grant.
Yeah.
Don't.
We have
forget,
confidence in you.
Oh,
Max.
Max always does it. He always goes through in the end.
But yeah, that's the only update I have from DOA.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
I'm gonna go get Ruben.
Okay, 10.2 ACO contract. In your packet, you have a copy of the animal control.
I recommend, and I'm assuming that the chief of police also just gave this recommendation that we read the contract.
Nothing's changed.
Their rate goes up based on what,
Yeah, right.
We budget, what, about 8,000 a year for this? Are you gonna change that this year?
I have to look at
Okay,
the,
same number.
I haven't gotten to that line item yet,
Yeah,
but, part of it is that we don't have anybody who's certified to do this. So we really do need to have these, and we do need an ACO and it needs to go through the county since we don't have anything. Doing it in-house is not an option.
and he said, what, he had 300, they had 340 calls this year. So
Down from the
down
year
from the
before.
previous year.
And I think finally people are understanding too, like for a while there, we had a lot of like cat calls.
Yeah.
Like there's a cat in my yard and I'll call the ACO. And I think that the shelter did a really good job of getting some information out there that cats wander, unlike dogs, they wander, and that you don't have to call your ACO every time you see a cat in your yard. And I think
Pretty cat.
yeah, so those were we had a lot of cat calls and, loose dogs, and I think some of those habitual dogs have been addressed, so. Dogs escape and
Is this informational or do you need a vote?
we would
We
need
need
to
to
vote.
vote.
I'll vote to approve the ACO contract.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? All set? All in favor? I did help him wrangle a couple horses this spring.
Horses are always a good thing. I've heard
Five
tell
and-
there was a bull once,
5 in the morning.
some cows, there was a
Yeah.
bull, John, what else was there been? We had a fox. You'll recall the fox, that was a big thing.
Oh, yeah.
10.3 policy discussion, community and social service request.
I'm gonna turn this over to illustrious clerk, who has been collecting all of these. You gave us great direction about timelines and what you wanted to see. And this is the spreadsheet that we came up with, of letting you know what the requested amount was. This is what we hope to put in the book, submitted information. Our big question is, if you turn to the back of the page, there were some that did not meet the date. And we need to know what you would like to, do you want those included in the book anyway? Do you not want them in the book? Are you considering them not having submitted or?
I would say if we made a pretty direct request for information and they didn't comply with that, then that's an indication that they're not interested in pursuing, I guess I would say. I would not put them in the book.
Can you send a letter out to every one of them?
They received a letter with the staff of support from last year. They received an initial email from me. And the ones that I hadn't heard from received an additional reminder email and crickets.
Some of them didn't submit anything.
And some submitted a letter past the due date. So if they did not submit by the 31st, you don't want them included in the book.
But no supporting documents for that letter.
And one didn't submit a petition, they were new to us. So that was just another piece to the puzzle.
we've never really treated the American Legion, and that's for the flags. We've never really treated like an outside organization, but they put the flags on the veterans' graves. I was thinking that maybe we could move that to buildings and grounds instead of.
Sure.
Because that they do provide a service to the community.
I also provided FYI,
Oh, yes.
the yes and the no votes, on what people really thought at the June election last
Because if you'll recall, this is the first time that they were individually listed.
year.
Right.
I would concur with what Becky said, if it's follow the direction, the guidance.
And the only other thing that I would say is we're going to email all of this information, all the financials to all of the select board and the budget committee. And then we will, I know so there are some people who like stuff in their hands to read. We're going to put together one book that has all that information in it, and anybody is welcome to come in and peruse it. We thought about a library card where people could take it out overnight if they wanted to look at it. But we just don't want to kill the trees. So I think that makes sense that it gets emailed to everybody, and then if we'll keep a bound copy. If anybody wants to come in, they can take the time to come in and see.
And also this would be in the book. The summary would
The
be.
summary would
in
be-
the book. In this, the community service and social service section.
Okay.
Instead of all of the information.
So does that meet with all of your approval and you're all happy about it?
Yes, very much so.
I'll have to come in and look at the book, I'm just saying.
Oh, we'll bind it for you.
I'm a,
It'll be just like your budget book. Be great. And I just want to say, this was taken on by Peg and by Pam, and they did an awesome job.
And Bob helped too.
Oh, and Bob helped too, that's right, I forgot. Bob went through and went through all the financials and checked off what was there and what wasn't.
Thank you, Bob.
Banker Bob, that's.
Well, I agree with Becky. I'm disappointed that one of these organizations didn't step up. I would have expected them to. But they didn't.
but the good news is they have another opportunity next year.
Yeah, they do. No, your point is
I mean-
taken. I mean, why should we treat somebody differently when everybody else is doing their thing?
Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Okay, old business, 11.1, heating, ventilation, air conditioning.
Isn't it exciting? And there's no little heaters and there's no heater hanging. So the HVAC for the office side, the emergency services side and our side is up and functional. On the 17th, we'll be getting a technician down to show us how to use the thermostats properly. And to set timers and different things like that for them. So it's been great. There's a little bit of a learning curve. I want to say ERV, but that's not what
HRV.
the HRV has not been installed yet. That is coming. So that portion of it has to be installed. I will tell you that even last week during the cold snap, we were warm, were we not? We were warm, which was great. It's working well. So I won't know the true electric impact because we had electric heaters going. If you'll recall, we had that one in here that John and Mike said was a huge draw. And once we have the schedule, so we probably won't really see what the impact is honestly till March after everything is set and on a schedule. Because we will be able to bring down the heat or air conditioning or up the air conditioning. Like in this town office side, to save money. And whereas this side is more 24/7. So that will be, I'm thinking we won't really know till March
Plus, we're gonna have a return on investment with the lack of using less.
Fuel oil,
Oil,
correct,
yes.
correct. And that's a little skewed, and I was even, when I was doing the budget today and going over the buildings and grounds. Trying to anticipate that because I noticed we used more fuel oil this year, and the reason was because we still have the fuel oil system. But because we didn't have a hot air system, we had to turn up the hot
Boilers.
the boiler, the hot water baseboard. So it really did skew it. So I don't have a real good picture yet. So I'm hoping in March, even though it might be a little late, we can adjust the budget after that and I'll have a much better idea of what we're doing. It's exciting though. So
Was looking for Max. He will have air conditioning.
Max will have air conditioning. He will have heat. Yes, we will all be. He did not have his coat on in his office today. So we were all, but it has been great and everybody's very happy with it and we thank you.
11.2. PFLMA cost sharing discussion and action. I'm assuming that family medical leave.
Yeah, so last meeting, you remember, we talked about that, but there was no action that was made for what the town would, how the town, we talked about it a few times, the paid family medical leave percentage
Mhm.
and whether or not to split it with an employee or not. And we talked about it last budget, we talked about it a couple of times, but there was no like consensus or vote as a board that you would like to split it 50-50 with employees and the town or cover any more than that.
When you
So,
say split it, like, the law requires us to 50%.
the law requires employers to send 1% of eligible earnings, but we have the right to cover the whole 1% or share it 50-50 with the employee or in a different manner. So we talked about it, we budgeted 50-50, but I don't think we ever had a vote or last week, did we vote?
I'd move just to get this discussion going that we do the 0.5% and the employee do the other 0.5%.
Makes sense to me.
I'll second that for the sake of discussion.
Yep.
In discussing it,
Mhm.
that's what the private sector businesses are doing, employees are doing out there. Because this is a huge discussion amongst a lot of people. And I know on the other side, the state side, they're paying 100% of everything. So,
They're not, we are.
yeah, I said we are, the taxpayers are. The employees of the state are not. But I would agree that, employee pays half and we pay the other half.
And that's what I'm seeing with some other
And if you look at
municipalities.
who benefits from the
Right.
program, it is the employee,
Exactly.
not the employer.
And I
Yeah.
think part of it is too, is that you don't know what that percentage will be in the future. And
Right.
if you commit to sharing that, it could grow.
Right.
So I had planned for that because of the budget discussions. I already started, so we don't have to change anything. That's how we've been operating since January 1, as far as payroll goes.
Carry on.
That's all I got.
All in
Give any-
favor? Got to vote on it. Opposed, none?
Thank you.
I do
That's
have
easy.
one thing I have to say, because if I don't, Ruben may explode. He texted me. He wants everybody to know that the fiber build began this week.
Ah.
Yes.
They're on Friendship Road right now.
They were in front of Pam's place and she was very excited. So they are here, they are doing the build out. So
Fidium.com. Go there and sign up. There's no
Really exciting.
obligation, no commitment, but they got your name on the list. That's what you
Yeah,
want.
I
your
don't
name
know.
and
I
address.
went there and it said call.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they changed the website. I did initially.
I went and it said you got a call and I hate the phone, so I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, my wife called them and got some information.
Yeah.
Oh, good luck.
so yes, Fidium is, they are
Sure, they'll be-
putting it up. Life is good.
Agendas for the next meeting.
Would you like to have
Is that
the,
enough time to do the traffic ordinance hearing? That we didn't do last time? Is that enough time? To get in the paper? We're gonna do that.
I haven't made the revisions yet. be honest with you.
Okay, so let's,
I don't really have enough time. I need.
Could we do that the first meeting in
that in March.
March?
We can even do it the second meeting in February, for me. or June.
I would love to do the first meeting in March. Just because we're right in the middle of budget.
Yeah, let's get that thing ironed out.
Mhm.
The next meeting, anything?
If it comes up quicker, we can always move it.
I
To the
think we will have
second.
approval of contracts.
Fine, we have those.
Will we have those at the
I
next
don't
one?
know. Really,
Let's wait until we have them in our hand.
yeah, let's.
We can pencil it in.
Would you guys like to hear from, since we did the year end for Chief Lash, would you like to hear Chief Booker's year end?
That would be cool.
Year end report? Peg, do you have anything that you want?
So, budget.
I just have the DMR letter.
Oh, and we'll probably have at the next meeting a shellfish management plan that we've already adopted back in 2009 that you will need to give your blessings to. So I would put that on there too. For the next meeting, yeah. Yeah, I'll try to get that. If I can get the parking done forever.
Well, she gotta have time to post it anyway, so. Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor? Thank you.
Yes.
We got them done before 8 o'clock.
We gotta get home for this.